Okay, let's talk about how to actually get shit done like a millionaire. And no, I'm not talking about no cold plunges, no sunning your balls, none of that morning routine self improvement BS or 3 hour work weeks. I'm talking about an actual routine that I use to manage 20 different employees and run a business that does 7 figures on a yearly basis. I've been following this structure for the past 8 years. I have used this when I had an office of 75 employees. Imagine that. Every 1 hour of work, there was 75 hours worth of work being done because there was 75 different people. I had to find out how to be as efficient as possible, especially with my own time. I found out how to actually get work done without being too busy, and I'm going to share it with you all today. I've spent millions of dollars throughout the past few years perfecting this structure. Think about it. Every dollar I'm spending is trying to find a way to efficiently make even more money out of it. Every dollar literally has went in to make sure that this structure works. So I'm going to give it to you all today for free. And this is going to be the highest ROI work that you're going to be able to do with the least amount of actual effort. And I think this is the most important topic that we can be talking about. I don't got to talk to you about some content strategy. I don't got to talk to you about a paid ad strategy. There is no strategy that is more important. There is no department. There is no anything that's more important than understanding how to stay productive. Let's go into it. So we got to start off with some mumbo jumbo mindset jargon because we got to set a frame for our mind. And this is probably one of the most important lessons I ever learned is to set expectations for yourself so you know what you should be expecting and you're not shocked when something happens. So I'm going to cover some mindset stuff. If you aren't anywhere near where you want to be in life, you still need to be like a sponge and soak up everything that you can. This entire training will be completely useless if you don't know how to deal with the elephants in the room. So distractions are probably the biggest problem. So you deal with this never-ending distractions daily, but there's one that's causing you to stumble more than the rest, and it's this false sense of productivity. This is work that keeps you busy but gets you nowhere. You have to lie to yourself by thinking you're working on something and therefore, I feel good. You pat yourself on the back for doing the bare minimum or something that doesn't even get you closer to where you want to be. And you fall into this trap of completing meaningless tasks to convince yourself that you're moving forward when in reality it's just cheap dopamine. The problem is the tasks aren't moving you towards your long-term vision. And I'm going to explain more about this of what your vision is and how to actually figure out which tasks move you closer to your vision. But we have to understand the problems first. A distraction is something that takes us away from whatever our end goal in life is. That's what you got to ask yourself. If you're going to be sitting here and go on your phone and start scrolling while you're working, that's a distraction. But what people don't also understand is a distraction can be you doing a task that has no meaning. For example, creating content for something that isn't actually going to produce more results for you. So if you don't have a clear vision outline, anything and everything is a distraction. Your vision will outline your goals, your yearly goals, your monthly goals, and your weekly. And the tasks required on a daily basis will help you reach those specific goals. So if the tasks are futile, if the tasks are pointless, you're just going to waste your time. So some tasks you're still going to procrastinate on. And that's why once on a weekly basis, every single Thursday, I dedicate that day to close something called open loops, aka something that I was holding off on that I need to do. I'm not compiling all these open loops in my head and wasting my time. I know when I have an open loop, I can close them all off on my Thursday. And that leads us perfectly into the second point of eat that frog. Such a nasty saying, but it's so powerful. Eat the frog means you have the choice of either eating the frog before your dinner or after. If you wait to eat it after, you're probably going to hate your life. But if you eat it before your dinner, you're going to enjoy your meal more because you're not thinking of something that you have to do. Put simply, short-term pain equals long-term gain. Short-term gain equals long-term pain. Our objective is very simple. What can we do that is so tiresome, so difficult, so exhausting? How can we do it as early as possible to move on with our lives? And on top of this, a very important point is our decision-making hormone. We have a hormone in our frontal lobe for our decisions, and it depletes on a daily basis. In order to restock it, you have to sleep. So every morning you should be doing your most difficult task. You should be eating that frog to make the most important decisions before you get decision fatigue. And at the end of every night, you should be planning out your next day so you don't waste any of your decision-making process on that actual day. And in the morning, I'll simply do a very basic routine. I'm not sunning my balls. I'm not going for a 16-hour run. I'm doing the very very simplistic things of doing my stretches, brushing my teeth, doing a 5-minute meditation, and going to work. When it comes to actually doing the work, I will work in 90-minute intervals and take a break. This is something that I learned from my performance coach. Imagine this, if you have 4 to 5 90-minute intervals, that's all you'll ever need to get a task done. So you do 90 minutes, you get your big task done. You take a 15-minute break, another 90 minutes, 15-minute break, another 90 minutes, then you take 2-3 hour break and another 90. That is it. 90 minutes, and you're going to get more work done than you sitting at your computer from 8 to 8 p.m. just scrolling, going back and forth. You actually have purpose within your day. And that's what leads us into our next point of the North Star. Now we can actually get into the sauce. First things first is to create your North Star. The North Star is the ultimate end goal you're trying to achieve. So where do you want to be mentally, physically, spiritually, monetarily? What would you be disappointed with in your future self for? And what does your autobiography look like for the next 10 years of your life? Our objective is to create tasks that get us close to the North Star. So I call this the red line effect. The red line effect is our end goal is over here, we are over here. We're trying to keep our tasks as close to this line as possible because then the journey is a lot smoother. But if we have a task over here and a task over here and a task here and a task here, we're going to be going from up, down, up, down, up, down, and we're going to be spending years and years extra to reach that same North Star because we did futile work. Our dream outcome is at the end of this line and we got to reach it as fast as possible. And the only way to reach a goal is by doing meaningful tasks. But before we even think about filling up our task list for our North Star, we got to understand every facet of our life. Money is not this end all be all. We are here for maximum fulfillment. If the average human being has 50,000 thoughts a day, and if you categorize your thoughts, they can fall into 6 main buckets. There's health thoughts, mental thoughts, spiritual thoughts, physical thoughts, monetary thoughts, and relationship thoughts. All of our thoughts can be bucketed into each of these categories. So each of these categories should have their own North Star. Here's some examples. Health, strong immune system. The goal is to live healthier every day. Tasks, buy organic food, cut out drugs and alcohol, touch grass. Mental, be more appreciative, practice gratitude. Spiritual, stronger relationship with God, pray and read daily. These are North Stars and goals. They're so freaking simple. All you got to do is define one line of the goal and then how you're going to get there for that specific week, and you work towards it. Now your work is more meaningful. For a 100K a month marketing agency, pick a perfect skill and join the Utopia.io, which will give you every resource you will ever need to start a marketing agency from scratch for beginners. It has been the starting point of some of the greatest entrepreneurs of our generation, and the best part is you'll get it all for $1.50 a day. Now, let's talk about how to create tasks that are meaningful. After your North Stars are defined, you're going to be able to break them down into yearly, monthly, and weekly goals. So for the monetary North Star, we want a $100,000 a month business. The yearly goal is to hit 10K. Monthly goal is to master the skill, the high income skill that is actually going to help us reach this point. Then the weekly goal is to choose a skill and start practicing it. Then the daily task, join Utopia, pick the skill and practice for 1 hour a day. This is all you got to do. This is the structure I've been following for 8 bloody years. You define the goal based off of your mental buckets. Then you define a yearly goal, a month goal, and a week goal, and then you create the tasks for it. So every Sunday, which is today, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be looking at my overall goals for the month and the year and see what should I be doing for this upcoming week, and then I create daily tasks around it. Your day-to-day tasks are going to be filled up with things that bring you closer to your weekly goal. Remember, the red line effect. These are purposeful tasks. When you're creating your tasks, you got to bucket them into one of these 4 categories. Number 1 is a high priority. Number 2 is a mid priority. 3 is low priority. And number 4 is a repetitive recurring tasks. 80% of our life in business is recurring. Going to the gym. It can be creating content. It can be networking and meeting people. After all of our tasks are figured out, we want to work in 7-day cycles called sprints. And then those sprints are going to show us all of the tasks that we got to do, and we can prioritize those tasks. We can do the high priority tasks on our Mondays and Tuesdays, our medium priorities on a Wednesday and Thursday, our low on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is planning our next sprint. But every day there's probably also going to be some recurring tasks. And once your sprint is outlined, you can create a system for making sure every task gets done. That's it. That's how to structure your week to be as productive as possible. Once your sprint is outlined, you're going to create a system to make sure every task gets done. A system is this steps that it takes to complete a task. I don't want you guys to be thinking like a chicken with your head cut off every time you have to do a task. If you have to create content, for example, all you got to do is define the content topic, write the content, review the content, design the content, review it again, post it. That's a system. It's the steps it takes to reach an outcome. So look at all the recurring goals in your life. Create a system around it. Create the steps around it. That is the end objective here. Now, everything that you see here, everything that involves productivity, everything that involves building a marketing agency, everything that involves you being the best version of you can be found inside of the Utopia. It's every resource you will ever need to build a profitable client-based business without the guesswork. We'll teach you the productivity hacks. I'll teach you how to create systems. I'll teach you how to start the marketing agency. I'll teach you how to even master high-income skills. If you want in and get access to every resource you'll ever need as a beginner for $1.50 a day, then go ahead and click the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.